Okay, I think I'm live. Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you see this live for those who are watching the replay. So, really quick before I went to work, I wanted to give an update on this Sweetie Pies thing. But before I start, I'm gonna just wait a few minutes and then it give me a little bit of time to possibly change my thumbnail. I hope everyone's doing well today. And some of you may already have this. I'm kind of late with the update, but well, I may have to change this thumbnail later, and that's okay. That's okay. All right, I'm just going to get started and give this update. So as you can see on the screen here, it says man accused of killing Welcome to Sweetie Pie's reality star pleads guilty, which we already knew. We already knew that he pleaded guilty, but he also implicated the victim's uncle. We know him as Tim Norman. His name is James Tim Norman Jr. In this hire to murder drama plot going on. And all of y'all know what Welcomes to Sweetie Pies is at this point. If you're watching this video and you're interested, it was a show that came on that was produced by, I guess, Oprah, the Oprah Network. And the main character was Miss Robbie Montgomery, and her son was also a main character, and the nephew came on there. Um, and he was murdered. And then years later, a couple of years, I don't remember how many years. Y'all could tell me in the comments how many years it was. Then it was. Then we found out that the uncle Tim, one of the stars of this show, he is implicated, or he was charged. All the players in this, so I won't go back through this. Go back through that. You can just kind of go back to some of my old videos, and that give you the update on that. So just to bring it to what's going on now, and I apologize. I wanted to do this video before I went to work, before I logged in for work. So I'm still, getting everything together on it. So be patient with me. I appreciate that. And again, some of you may have already heard all the information. So we know that the young man that was shown on the screen again, what was his name? I know his last name is Hill, Travell Anthony Hill. He pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit murder for hire, separate account for murder for hire in 2016 killing. In Hill's plea agreement, he implicated two other people charged in the murder for hire. He reportedly claimed that the victim's uncle, James Tim Norman, wanted Montgomery dead. Hill also said that Terica Ellis is an exotic dancer who allegedly had previous romantic relationship with Norman, lured Montgomery to the location where he was shot. Hill was reportedly paid $5,000 to kill Montgomery. So this young man was the actual shooter. And he is saying, in his plea agreement, he said that Tim Norman and Erica Ellis were co-conspirators, or Tim hired him, and then Erica was the one who lured the young man outside for him to shoot him. Norman and Ellis were charged with conspiracy to commit murder charges. Travell Anthony Hill will be sentenced in September and is facing life in prison. So y'all know that Andre Montgomery was 21, was killed outside of a St. Louis apartment complex back in 2016. And a burner phone and cell phone data was used to tie Norman to this horrific crime of killing his own nephew, his brother's child. And there's some information that came out about his brother and something about Tim Norman's dad, and we'll get to that in the end. So Tim Norman's attorney says that the St. Louis murder for hire case will go to trial. He's saying that, Tim Norman lawyer, if some of you are wondering if he's going to take a plea deal or, for, less time or anything like that, at this time, no. His attorney said they are going to trial. And let me get y'all the information on that. And if y'all are in the chat, I'm sorry, I can't see you because I'm reading these articles, as I go along. So I'm not able to see who's in the chat. But good morning. Thank you so much for coming in. If you are in here, if you're in the replay, and if you're in the listening to the replay later on, please hit that like button. So give me just a minute. Let me get this article. I should have had these ready, right? Oh, well, I don't have them ready. So give me just a minute. Y'all can just hear me typing away, can't you? So, as I said before, Tim Norman, welcome to Sweetie Pie, scheduled to stand trial for the alleged involvement in the murder for hire of his nephew Andre Montgomery, as Tim maintained his innocence. 3 other co-conspirators have pleaded guilty. Okay. 3 other co-conspirators have pleaded guilty. Miss Montgomery, or Miss Robbie as we call her, is the mother of Tim. Y'all know that. She has vowed to support her son through this ordeal. So as I said, Tim lawyer represented the lawyer representing Tim Norman in the high-profile Welcome to Sweetie Pie's Murder for Hires says that his client fully intends to proceed to trial. He says, we fully expect the government is not going to be able to meet their burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. And his attorney is Michael Leonard, and he's a prominent trial attorney or lawyer out of Chicago. So this attorney is believing that the government, the DA, don't have enough evidence for Tim to be convicted. So that's that. Prosecutors are alleging that Tim served as the mastermind behind his nephew's murder. And as I said before, the young man with the last name Hill, that was 30 years old, he has already been convicted of 1 count of conspiracy to commit murder for hire, and he was charged with another count of murder for hire of Andre's killing. And then it's also being said that the Terica Ellis, and I always have a problem with this guy's name, so I'm going to put it in the chat, but I think his last name is Yagnan. Both of them have pleaded guilty also. So all of the players, the shooter, Anthony Travell Hill, the girl who lured the nephew out, her name is Ellis. What was her name? Terica Ellis. And now this producer who produced Nelly's, one of Nelly's, the rapper's Nelly's albums, and then he became a insurance agent, Yagman, they all have pleaded guilty to playing a role in the murder plot. So yeah, they've all been have pleaded guilty. Now, Ellis accepted the girl, Terica Ellis. She accepted $10,000 in cash, and again, as I said before, the young man, the shooter, only got $5,000. And like I said before, Yagnan, who produced rapper Nelly's hit single #1, stated in his plea agreement that he helped him try to fraudulently obtain a $450,000 worth of life insurance policies on Andre. Tim was listed as the sole beneficiary of the policies. Aside from Tim reportedly wanting to cash in the life insurance policies he had on his nephews, prosecutors also say Andre named his uncle as a suspect in the robbery of his grandmother's home. Tim was also said to be jealous of the close relationship Andre shared with his mother. So anyway, so that is some of the update. But I have something else I want to share with y'all. And it's kind of odd, and I was kind of going back and forth whether I was going to share it or not, but I'm going to share it. Give me a minute. Let me make sure that I've given y'all all the information. And I did tell y'all that Miss Robbie is standing beside Tim despite the allegations against him. While Miss Robbie remains heartbroken by the death of her grandson, it doesn't change her love and loyalty to her son. And that's what reports are saying. Miss Robbie said, "My son is in trouble right now, but I'm his mother. I don't know any more about it than you do. I will see when everyone else sees, but I'm there with him to support him. That's what mothers do until death do us part. It's the same in marriage. I can't abandon him now." And that's according to Miss Robbie. She will not abandon her son like, most mothers wouldn't, in spite of how difficult, this is. Hey, Miss Baker. Thank you so much for coming in. Says, "Good morning, Miss Cruiser. Have you seen the interviews Philly Field has on her page? I'm not. Please go and watch those. Lots of tea spilled." She also says, "Rumor has it she was in on it. Just go watch those videos, please." Who was in on it? And for those who are watching the replay, which would probably be the majority of y'all, I'm talking to someone named Miss Baker, and she said, Who is she? Miss, no, she loved that boy. I have a hard time believing for 450,000. But I'm gonna check that out. Thank you for that. I'm gonna check it out now. But check this out. Okay, so, and we've already went over that. But check this out. Okay, this is what I want to get to. This is what I want to get to right here. So, I'm kind of looking at YouTube. Miss Baker, I'm sure my jaw is going to be dropped to the floor too when I read it. So I'm surfing through YouTube when I saw this update, and I actually saw it on another content creators community board, Miss V. Lenore. If you're not subscribed to Miss V. Lenore, go over there and subscribe to V. Lenore. She has some great interviews with some people that you will more than likely know from TV, okay? And some comedians. Go check out her channel. You will not be sorry. So on her community tab was linked to a video that was talking about a lady who knew Tim Norman's father, James Timothy Norman Sr., knows him well. And so I didn't want to play her video because, you're not supposed to do that. And so I was like, well, let me Google this. So I looked it up, and it took me to Lipstick Alley. I love Lipstick Alley. But you can go over to Lipstick Alley and get lots and lots and lots of information. So what they're saying is that Shirley, a.k.a. Auntie, says that she was in the midst, but not in the mix. She was in the midst, but not in the mix. I'm reading this straight from Lipstick Alley. Auntie lived in St. Louis since 9 years of age. Since she was 9 years old, she's 70 now. She was married to James Timothy Norman Sr., best friend. So she was married to Tim Norman's father, best friend. Okay. James Timothy Norman Sr., Tim's father, was a killer who hung around other killers. He killed a beloved businessman named James Dyson, somewhere around 1978, 1979. Okay, so Miss Baker in the chat is saying, yes, that came from Philly Field's interview. So y'all need to go over there to Philly, PHYLLY, Field's interview. And that may have been what I saw on V. Lenore's channel. So he may have not been a drug dealer, but Dyson was a drug user. In the 70s, after President Nixon went to China, heroin hit the city streets, and all black people in the area were either selling or handing heroin. Not all of them. Now they be talking about all. It wasn't all of them. They used it to establish themselves. Okay, so James Dyson's daughter was 7 years old when he was murdered. Her father was Muslim. James Dyson knew Tina Turner. She was a big fan of sweetie pies and only learned recently that Tim's father murdered her father. What's this girl name? They're not giving her name, huh? James Dyson's daughter. Okay. The two fathers grew up together. Tim's father was known as a thug, in and out of trouble. Tim's father was never questioned or convicted for murder. Now, was Tim's father and his brothers? Did Tim and his brother have the same father? I don't recall. Y'all can let me know in the comments if Tim and his brother was also murdered, y'all. His brother was also murdered. I'm gonna be late for work, y'all. I'm gonna be late for work. But anyway, and there's an interesting story behind that. All of these allegations. So where was I at? She was a big fan of sweetie pies, but she didn't know till later that Tim Norman killed her father, James Dyson. Tim's father was known as Thug and in and out of trouble. Tim's father was never questioned or convicted for murder. Tim's father also murdered another woman's fiance. Okay, so in the chat they're telling me, or Miss Baker is telling me in the chat that no, Miss Robbie's sons had different dads. Okay. Tim's father also murdered another woman's fiance. Tim Norman the third has another, okay, so he's the third, he's not a junior. But anyway, he has another paternal brother that's alive. Tim is 15 years younger than him. 15 years younger. So he has a brother that's, okay. Now, all of this is allegedly. Okay, this is allegedly, y'all. I don't want nobody come trying to mess with Miss Cruiser. You know, trying to sue me and stuff, and then I can't cruise because y'all got all my money. This is all allegedly. His brother name is also Tim Norman II. I can't stand when men do that. Have babies by different people and then don't tell a lady, look, I already got a Tim. But anyway, Tim's the second mother, Carol Ann, was still married to Tim's father while Miss Robbie was messing with him. You know what, y'all? This is what okay. Okay. This drama just keeps going. And again, this is all allegedly. He was still married to Carol Ann at the time of his death. Miss Robin would tell folks that Carol Ann Taylor Norman was Tim's father's sister, but he was actually married to Carol Ann. So I wonder why he would say it's the sister if they were married to Carol Ann. Why would she tell people that? Carol Ann became an alcoholic. I almost said apostolic. An alcoholic. 10 to 15 years ago, she was intoxicated. She was so intoxicated that she ran her car through a Walmart store. Miss Robbie had to sue Carol Ann in order for her son Tim to be born in the hospital. What? Miss Robin had to sue Carol Ann in order for her son Tim to be born in the hospital he was born in. Why? The other Tim calls Miss Robbie mom after his mother. So she sued the mother. She sued this woman, and her son calls her mom after his mother, Carol Ann, died. Miss Robbie remains a support system for him. Tim's father also had a daughter. And then the rest of the stuff ain't got nothing to do with, I just forgot to edit it all out. Y'all reading that made me feel like, like, what?
And my grandmother, okay, they were sisters. So that make me and Roydale and Alverstein, okay,
that's how I felt when I was reading that, y'all. I was like, what? What? Two Tims, and the Tim that had the father and the daughter.
Also murdered another
anyway, y'all.
Tim Norman.
It is. Sorry, y'all. Yeah, this is all a mess. It's a mess. But look, go over there. Yeah, I love that. I love that video too, Alverstein. Y'all go check out Alverstein on TikTok. But as I was reading this, earlier, I was thinking that's what was going through my mind. is my grandmother, which would make it my first. Anyway, the other thing, y'all. Okay, so I said the other thing is that y'all go check out Philly again, Philly Phil's video, and you can actually hear the audio. I tried to read it with my, with my non-seeing self on this small print, but y'all go check out her video, and then y'all can hear the actual audio. Okay. So the other thing is that I don't even know whether I should share this or not. But the other thing is allegations about who killed Tim's brother. Okay, y'all know that Tim's brother was killed, and his murder was never really solved, or not never really solved. It was never solved that we know of. And I just want y'all to hear what I ran across. Okay. Listen to this.
Andre's father and Miss Robbie's oldest son. And that question is if Tim had something, anything to do with the tragic demise of Andre's father. Let's get to the bottom of this question once and for all. Andre's father, born Andre LaJuan Montgomery Sr., was the firstborn son of Robbie Montgomery and Arthur Lassiter. Arthur Lassiter was chosen by Ike Turner as the frontman for a band named Kings of Rhythm. Miss Robbie was one of 3 backup singers, and eventually him and Miss Robbie had Andre Montgomery Sr. Lassiter later died in 1994 from throat cancer. Andre Sr. met Andre's mother, Michelle Griggs, and then after some time he moved to California. Unfortunately, that move cost him his life due to his...
Now, remember, Andre Montgomery is the nephew and the grandson of Robbie, and the nephew of Tim and the grandson of Robbie, Miss Robbie. And well, let me let the lady tell it rather than me.
Involvement in gang-related activities. At the time of his death, he was 34 years old, a year after his father, Arthur Lassiter, had passed. The story of his tragic end, as retold by Miss Robbie, is that Andre Sr. lived the street life, where he ended up getting into a fight with 2 brothers. One of the brothers hit him in the head with a baseball bat, and the other one stuck him several times with a knife. If you recall on an episode of Sweetie Pies, Robbie discussed the circumstances surrounding his death, where, according to the reports pertaining to someone being held accountable for the death of Andre's father, that is still a no. So the individuals that were involved in his demise are still at large. Upon his death, Tim Norman, at that time, was around 16 years old. At that age, he was busy pursuing a life of crime, which ultimately resulted in him being sentenced to and being locked up for 10 years, where he was charged with armed robbery. So there you have it. Tim Norman was not involved in the unfortunate passing of his brother, according to the little information provided. Just wanted to answer.
Okay, so for those who are asking that question, then according to this report, Tim Norman is not, even though, people are saying and rumors are flying, they're saying that his brother was killed in California. I think that's what she said. And he was, been locked up. He was locked up for 10 years from the age of 16 or somewhere around in there. So, but this family has experienced so much tragedy, so much drama, and just so much involving crime and murder, and it's like Miss Robbie have survived a whole lot, because from what I heard, if I heard it right, her first son's dad was killed just a year before, or died a year before he did, and then he was murdered. And then his son was murdered, allegedly, or his son was murdered by his own uncle, allegedly. It's still in trial, innocent until innocent until found guilty, and his attorneys is saying that he's going to trial. He's not pleading anything. He ain't saying he's guilty. He is saying he's innocent. He being Tim Norman, and it is going to trial. So, just for a quick recap, hey Roy McKenzie, thank you so much for coming in. She's in the chat. She's saying, "Good morning, Miss Cruiser. Yes, Miss Robbie is strong. Yeah, she's strong, and she looked good for her age. She's holding up well up under this. I mean, she really is, because all of this, losing husband, losing a son, losing a grandson." And your son is the one that is charged with the murder of your grandson, that, she's a strong lady. So just for a quick recap, 2 defendants enter a guilty plea in Sweetie Pie's murder for hire. This came out July 22nd. And it says here in this article 2, but we know it's 3. United States District Court Judge John A. Ross accepted a plea guilty from Terica. Sometimes I say Tarika, but it's Terica. Tanisha Ellis, and I'm not even going to mess with his name. I'm just going to say Yagnam. On today's date, a grand jury in Eastern District, Missouri, previously indicted Yagnam and Ellis in August 2020. Additional charges were filed in November 2020 for Yagnam and Ellis for their roles in the murder for hire scheme involving James Timothy Norman and the death of Andre Montgomery. Judge Ross set sentencing by October 26, 2022. So Ellis and Yagnam, their sentencing is gonna be October, was that 22nd? 26th, 2022. And the young man, Hill, Anthony Travell Hill, his sentencing is September 2022. And I heard that Tim Norman's trial starts September 2022. So y'all can let me know in the comments or in the chat or in the comments. Good morning, Dee Dee. Thank you for coming in. Y'all can let me know in the comments or the chat if that is the correct date. But so 3 people have pleaded guilty. There's 4 folks involved that we know of, but only 3 of them pleaded guilty. The mastermind is holding out with innocence. Travell Hill was the one that talked, as we call it, a snitch. He was the one that made a plea deal and told the whole story for his so that he wouldn't get the death penalty. He's going to end up getting life. So, and again, his attorney is saying, Tim Norman's attorney is saying that we fully expect the government is not going to be able to meet the burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Let me see what Miss Baker says. I want to know who on the phone called Tim and his lawyers want to be thrown out as evidence who is protected. They say this young man, Hill, was talking to his brother on the phone. The shooter was talking to his brother on the phone. Obviously, the young man didn't know that all prison or jail calls are recorded, and they got some evidence from that. But there was something in here about some phone call evidence. I did see something about that, but I can't remember where. So, y'all, this is ongoing. There's going to be more to come, and when more comes out, I will share it. Now, it's going to be a little late, so surf around, but I'll share it as soon as I can. But go over there to Philly Fields, and you're going to get more information, and you'll be able to hear. You will be able to actually hear the recording of this lady who says that she was friends. She was married to the best friend of Tim Norman's dad. And she is saying that Tim Norman's dad murdered a couple of people. So, oh, it's a phone call from August 2020. Oh, the call. Are you talking about the call where they lured him out, or the call where they was planning the murder? Oh no, from 2020. He was killed in 2016. Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that. Those who watching the replay, if you know anything about that, drop down in the comments and let us know. Let's see. Somebody says they are hoping that Tim gets off on some technicality. They know he did it. I feel so bad for Miss Robbie. Yeah. He has this, and I don't know how he's paying for him, but he has this prominent trial attorney out of Chicago. So I don't know how he's paying, for this man, unless this man is doing it just for publicity. Some attorneys will take a case. High prominent, high profile attorneys will take a case, or prominent attorneys to take a case so they can become high profile. So because he's traveling back and forth from Chicago to St. Louis to Missouri, which is not a not a long, I guess, travel, but still, Tim ain't have no money. He didn't have any money, so I mean that I know, allegedly. But he must think that he's going to get off on a technicality. So Tim is protecting somebody. So y'all, for those who watching the replay, and I think Dee Dee just came in and somebody else, they're saying that Miss Robbie is involved. Listen, y'all. Y'all can't convince me that Miss Robbie, I know she wasn't perfect. Sometimes I looked at her sideways because she could be a little mean. But I just don't believe that she killed her grandson. I just can't wrap my mind around that. She tried her best to help that boy. Miss Baker said she don't put nothing past nobody. Okay? She said she don't put nothing. Listen, y'all wait for these comments to upload. Miss Baker gonna give y'all life. Wait for these comments to upload. I didn't think Miss Robbie is involved at all. Why would she? What would she gain? Yeah, well, I mean, exactly what? I don't know. Anyway, before I start rambling, and I am late for work, so thank y'all so much for coming in. Thank those of you who are going to catch the replay. Please hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to not only this channel, but I have another channel, Miss Cruiser 2, TOO, Miss Cruiser. Same thing, just add the TOO on the end, and over there, I give updates on the church folk. Now, church folk, if you do it and we see it, Miss Cruiser gonna talk about it. Oh, yes, she is. So go over there to Miss Cruiser 2. You can see all about the church folk over there. Do y'all know the latest thing is this New York pastor? Somebody came into church and robbed him and his wife. Did he know the people? Was it a setup? Did they really rob him? What happened? Go over there and that's where you're going to get all your church gossip from. This is Miss Cruiser. And later on today, Thankful Thursday. Y'all know I like to do Thankful Thursday. It's about 5 people that watch Thankful Thursday. That's my most important and my most favorite video to do. This is Miss Cruiser. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank y'all so much.